The Secret Library of Everwood. In a quiet town, where cobblestone streets wound between cozy houses, lived a curious girl named Mia. Mia loved books more than anything in the world. Every evening, she would curl up with a story and imagine herself in magical lands. But one rainy afternoon, something unusual happened. As Mia browsed the old bookshop near her house, she found a dusty, leather-bound book with no title. The moment she touched it, the pages began to glow. "Strange," Mia whispered. She opened the book, and suddenly, whoosh! A whirlwind of golden light pulled her inside. A world of living stories. When Mia opened her eyes, she was standing in a massive library, unlike any she had ever seen. Bookshelves stretched as far as the eye could see, filled with glowing books. Some books floated in the air, others whispered to each other, and a few even scurried around like little animals. "Where am I?" Mia wondered aloud. A tiny owl with spectacles fluttered down from a shelf. "Welcome to the Secret Library of Everwood," it hooted. "This is where all stories come to life." Mia's eyes widened. "Stories come to life?" "Yes," the owl nodded. "But there's a problem. The Book of Lost Tales has been stolen by the Shadow Thief. If we don't get it back, forgotten stories will disappear forever." Mia felt a thrill of excitement. "I'll help." The owl handed her a golden feather. "This will guide you, but beware, the Shadow Thief is cunning." The journey to the Shadow's lair. Mia followed the feather through the enchanted library. She passed through jungles of fairy tales, oceans of adventure stories, and even a valley of riddles where books only spoke in puzzles. Finally, she reached a dark, misty corner where the shelves were broken and the books were torn. At the center sat a tall, hooded figure, the Shadow Thief, holding the stolen Book of Lost Tales in his hands. "You cannot take this from me," he hissed. "Forgotten stories belong to the shadows." Mia took a deep breath. "But stories are meant to be remembered. Without them, there is no magic, no adventure, no dreams." The Shadow Thief laughed. "Then answer my challenge. If you win, you take the book. If you fail, you'll be trapped here forever." Mia nodded. "Here is your challenge," the Shadow Thief said. "Tell me a story so powerful that even the shadows cannot erase it." Mia thought hard. Then she smiled. She began telling a story about a little girl who loved books, who found a magical library, and who was brave enough to stand up for forgotten tales. As she spoke, the library shimmered with golden light. The Shadow Thief gasped as the darkness around him began to fade. The more Mia told her story, the weaker he became until, poof, he vanished into a wisp of smoke. The return home, the stolen book floated into Mia's hands. The moment she touched it, the entire library cheered. The owl flapped its wings excitedly. "You did it! The stories are safe again!" A golden portal appeared before Mia. "It's time to go home," the owl said gently. Mia stepped through, and in a blink, she was back in the bookshop, the dusty books still in her hands. Was it all a dream? She wasn't sure, but as she walked home, she noticed something new. Her own name had appeared on the book's cover, glowing softly. From that day on, Mia wrote her own stories, making sure no tale was ever forgotten again. The end.